A very big yes to a clean glam. Guys, let me show you how I created this traditional marriage look, like a trad bride look. This is like the modern, sophisticated Igbo bridal look. So stay with me, guys, while I take you through the process of creating this video. So this is the before video. She looks so beautiful. So we need a clean canvas. So going into the skin with my Nia Beauty micellar water using my cotton pad. I'm taking my time. I'm pampering the skin, guys. See, her skin looks so soft and tender. Like her skin, from the video, you could see how yummy the skin looks. So you don't want to be so harsh. So for to hydrate her skin, to start like the skin prep, hydration and all, I just went into the skin with my green tea hydrating spray. You all already know this spray is like a fave. So I don't just let it dry into the skin like that. I just prefer to blend it with my brush into the skin. That just works better for me. Like it just works better for me, that's it. So to hasten up the drying process, I'm using my lash pack. And I always say lip, lip is part of your face. So treat the lip as good as you treat the other part of your skin. You see, she's already looking happy because lip balm. So next into the skin prep, I'm going into the skin with my snail missing. You know what it's called, but this is for hydration. And you know how soft this thing feels on the skin. Like she was really, really enjoying herself. Guys, a session with me is fun and enjoyable. So after blending that, I let that sit for a while before going into the skin with my Olay moisturizer. She has an oily skin, so we are working on an oily skin. So I went into this skin with this moisturizer. This moisturizer is oil-free moisturizer and it's really lightweight. So I just make sure it's all blended. At this point, if you're not subscribed to my channel, you're wrong, guys. Click the subscribe button like right now. So I'm going to be trying to control the oil around her skin on basically on her T-zone. I'm using the Power Serum from Mismetic. I put it into a container, then use my brush to just dab that in. I just dab that in. I'm not dragging. And I also apply on the brow area because I want that side to also be matte. So I'm going to let that sit for a while before going into it with this primer. This is the Becca primer and the Rimmel London primer. Guys, this Rimmel London is really underrated. I don't know why. Makeup artists use this primer a lot, but I don't know why they don't like scream about the primer. So I use it all over the skin. This primer controls oil a lot. So I use it all over the skin and tap, 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 tap. Don't drag because you really have product on the skin. You don't want to drag that. So I'm going on the T-zone with the Becca. I just put it on the back of my palm and just tap it with a different brush. Guys, this Becca is very dry. So you don't want so much. If you apply so much on the skin, guys, it's going to crack your foundation. So just, a little goes a very long way. So for her skin, I'm mixing these two foundation, my Huda Beauty and the Melanin in number 11. You already know by now that Melanin in number 11 is like a favorite foundation. This is like an oil-based foundation, yes, but I love the undertone and the blends it gives to other foundation, like when you mix it together. So for an easy blend, I went into it with my Kiss Beauty hydrating spray that and just let it sit for a while before going into it. So this time I'm not using like a beauty sponge to blend that out directly like I always do. I'm using a brush because my Nuban Beauty, no, not Nuban Beauty, sorry guys, my Huda Beauty foundation is a matte foundation, and you don't want to have a foundation that is not well blended. And that thing, guys, see what I did on the skin. Don't do it like apply foundation everywhere and blend together. Just blend one side and go to the other side. Like the skin is not running away, it's the skin in front of you that you're working on. So use a beauty sponge to just seal everything in and give it like a very smooth finish. So I'm using this pink blush. I want to have like the pink shade. We're going for like pink, but not like pink everywhere, but you know what I'm saying. You saw like the look. So I applied that on her cheek, like the apples of her cheek and over to her cheekbone, and I apply the excesses on her forehead and her nose area. So to contour, I'm using my Milani, what am I saying? My Inglot foundation. This foundation gives me like a warm finish. This is not like, this is just to add warmth to the face. You know, most times I don't like contour like with a harsh shade to bring back shadows. I just, try to bronze more like, just not something so much. Just give the face warmth. Just, you know what I'm saying, guys? Just that sweet, easy finish, that simple blend you get when you finish everything. And make sure it's all blended. So to highlight her face, I'm using this two concealer. First, I'm going to be highlighting. I'm mixing this. No, first I'm going to be concealing. I used my phone, LA Girl Concealer in phone. I mixed my Nuban Beauty concealer to highlight, to conceal first. Why am I making this mistake? To conceal first. Like I took like very little quantity because I want to conceal that part first. You know the difference between concealing and highlighting. I'm going to leave a link to that video where I explained in details the difference between concealing and highlighting. So here I'm just concealing under the eyes, so I'm not like highlighting, and I did that all over the part I need to also highlight on her forehead area as well, on her chin and on the bridge of her nose. So this concealing part, you can wear your foundation, you can wear your concealer like this if you want, but you can go ahead to highlight if you just want it more brighter. So to brighten it more, I'm using my Nuban Beauty concealer in 041. This is like the lightest shade if I'm not mistaken. Yes, this is like the lightest shade, 041. So now I'm highlighting because I want it to be bright. Previously I concealed because I just want that side sealed, like the under eye smooth, but now I'm highlighting. So the reason why I took very little quantity of concealer at first, because I don't want it cakey, because when you conceal and still highlight, that's a lot of products. So you want to be light-handed when applying your product. So make sure you blend, guys. Use a brush if you need it to, like get into the sides of her nose, any corners of the face that you need to get to. Use a brush. So I'm going to remind you guys again, if you're not subscribed to this channel, guys, subscribe to my channel. Don't leave my channel without subscribing. Don't you love this beautiful look you're seeing? Even though it's not completed yet, but it's already coming together like real good. Even though she kind of look white because I've not concealed the nose, like contour the nose yet, and that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm trying to like bring back shadows to the nose because already she was looking so white and the face wasn't just, having any shape. Is that even the word? It wasn't just having any shape. Like I had one client that said, I want my nose chiseled. So we're not like chiseling this nose though, but we're just trying to, bring back shadows, contour it, and just, give it, I've said, like 100 times in this video. So guys, just bear with me because I'm still going to say that. When I just get to a point like words fail me to explain, I just use the. So apply with a brush, like contour with a brush. I prefer to use like an animal hair brush and blend with your beauty sponge. So to set under her eyes and every part where I highlighted, I'm going to be using a pressed powder first. This is in the shade 01, Nuban Beauty 01, then my Laura Mercier setting powder. And first, before you apply anything under the eyes, guys, make sure you blend. Just blend, blend, blend. Blend like your life depends on it, guys, because you don't want makeup with lines and demarcations and everything. No, that is not what we are going for. We are not in support of such kind of thing on this channel. So I don't want to see you guys your makeup somewhere and this is my subscriber, this is my community member having like an unblended makeup, like having lines everywhere. So use a pressed powder first. It's going to help you achieve a non-creasing on the eyes and also set every part where you highlight or conceal. So to go into it with my Laura Mercier translucent powder, I have to blend again, and I just dip my beauty blender into the powder and dust out because I don't want excesses. Guys, just pay attention to details when you are trying to achieve like a flawless makeup. You have to pay attention to details. Don't pack products on the skin. You don't want that because that's the beginning of like a cakey makeup. And when you're setting under the eyes, you have to be really, really careful. When you're concealing, setting, or highlighting, whatever you're doing, you have to be really, really, really careful with the amount of products you pick, because that is going to determine the outcome of your makeup. So I set every part where I highlighted, because I want every part highlighted. So just to give the face like a lift a little bit, I'm just going to set like the side of her mouth. I didn't do that with the concealer. I do that sometimes and I just keep it sometimes. It's not really my thing, even though it turns out really nice, but just not my thing. So to set the contour or the bronzer rather, I'm using my melanin powder in warm to do that. That shade warm. The shade warm, it just speaks for itself because it's actually really warm. So the name just rhymes with what the powder does to the face. So it's just warm, and that's what we are trying to achieve, like a warm finish, guys. So something like that. Just warm, and she's really light skinned, so you have to just really be careful. I also set her nose area, and to intensify the contour, I'm picking a pink shade from my classic blush palette. Very tiny quantity because that blush palette is highly pigmented, and she's light skin. Whatever you put on her face just automatically, boom, it shows. So I'm using a powder to set all over her face. I'm using the Nuban Beauty in number 3 to set all over her face. I'm setting every part of her face, on the chin and on the forehead where I also highlighted, avoiding directly under the eyes. Like, you don't want to go under the eyes with a big brush, just like boom, boom, boom on it. Doesn't even make sense. So now for the eyes, we're trying to achieve like okay, don't worry guys, you're going to see it, what we're trying to achieve. So I use my classic lip stain in Thunder. I really love the shade of brown. It gives me like purple, but it's actually brown. So I just blend, and when you're doing this, just guys, just make sure you blend properly. So I'm taking this dark shade of brown to place on top of the base, like on top of the lip stain. So I just place that. I'm using like a tiny brush to apply that on the beginning part of like the inner corners of the eyes. Then I took this lighter shade of brown with a blender brush to blend out the demarcation. So I'm also like placing that on the outer corner of the eyes because we want to smoke it out a little. So if you notice, I keep changing brushes, so I switched to this tiny blending brush because this is going to give me like what I'm trying to achieve and not put products everywhere on her skin, like found like eyeshadow everywhere on her skin. Oh god, why did I keep missing products? I call this and I call that. Okay, but you know what I'm trying to say. So I picked this shade. It's like pink, red, orange, just in between. But sometimes whatever you apply it on the eyes, it just depends on the base you have. It's just going to give you different things. That's why I love this particular shade. But in this case, it's giving me like a very light shade of pink or a dark shade of pink rather, I don't know, but use it to blend out. So I'm using the powder. This is in the shade 07. I'm just using it to blend it out because I don't want like an eyeshadow. An eyeshadow is going to leave a very, dark pigmented feel or look. But powder just gives me that natural look. So I prefer to use like a powder to just blend everything out. It just works for me. Okay, no, this is not in the shade 07. This is in the shade 04. So I'm just, basically blending and making sure I don't have demarcations between my eyeshadow. Try using a powder to blend your eyeshadow and you will never go back to using like an eyeshadow just to even, this is just like to even everything out. So to smudge under the eyes, I'm using the same brown I use on top of the lid to, just smudge under the eyes, and I'm using a powder to blend that out. So this is now, I'm using the shade 07 to blend it out because I still want to have like a brown shade. So I went into the skin with the 01, a very light shade, like the lightest of the Nuban Beauty, to, give the face a lift a little bit. I don't like using concealers to do this part because sometimes concealer kind of messes things up for me, so I don't like to use concealer to do this part. So I showed like my pigment glue earlier, and that was when I applied it on the back of my palm because it needs to get tacky before using it on the lid. Don't go straight into the lid with like a pigment glue that is not tacky. So I applied that and I used this shade to apply on like the pink shade on the lid, and I'm using this bronze shade on top of the pink because I just kind of want to tone it down a little bit. I actually did love the pink, but because I'm going to be using like a glitter on it, I just want to tone it. I don't want it so much. So I pick my pigment glue again on the back of my palm and place on the eye, like on top of the eyeshadow I have already. And I used this glitter. This is from White Glam, and the name of this particular shade is Flava, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but this is the shade, and I really love this shade so much. Like, I love the way it just gave me that what I'm expecting. Like, you know, when you have a look planned out in your head and it actually turned out the way you plan it out, like, oh, I did that. That was a feeling. And I'm using my Beyond Beauty gel liner to line her waterline. I've been using this gel liner for the longest time, and it has been working for me. And it's actually very, really, really very affordable. Like, it comes like 2 in 1. And last time I bought it for 2,000 naira. So I don't know if it's still like that amount, but it should not be more than 3,000 naira now. But it's two in the pack for 3,000 naira. That's like 1.5 each. And it has been working. It has been serving me for close to a year. Yeah, it has been serving me for close to a year. So after lining the top, I'm going to be using my Wing Beauty mascara to like intensify or add volume to the lashes before applying my false lashes, and this is also going to help me like take out the excess pigment on the lashes. So I'm just using my powder to set all over her skin, dust out excess pigment from her skin, and try to just basically blend out. That's what I'm doing at this point. I just blend and keep blending because this is it. It's already turning out nice, so I just have to keep blending and blending. So now to do the brows, I've been doing my brows last lately. If you have been watching my videos, you hear this particular line a lot. I've been doing my brows last lately, and guys, I don't think I'm going back to doing my brows before my eyeshadow again because it has been working very well for me. It's so easy, so simple. So I'm using my Divis brow pencil. This pencil, you have to make sure it's very sharp, because if it's sharp, it can give you like a very light sketch. So I use it for both dark and light skin, and my favorite shade is number 3. So after doing that, I just extend it a little bit and try to fill in, like give it like a 4 stroke. And where she has hairs, I'm trying to like fill in and give it like a very light stroke. So basically what I'm trying to do is like achieve like a very natural brows. And the advantage of like doing my brows last is because it just turns out perfectly well, nice, and it just helps me not to waste product, helps me not to waste time so much on the brows. So when after doing that, just brush, and this is what the both of them looks like. And I'm just going into it with my flat brush using the same concealer I used to conceal her under eyes earlier, not highlight, the one I used to conceal, because I don't want it looking too bright. And this is just the advantage of doing your brows last. So I'm just setting that with a powder, and I'm going into like the beginning part of the brows with the same shade I used to contour, and this is the look. So I'm trying to like have like a dewy finish. So I used my Morph setting mist. This has like oil in it, so it has to be like almost dry before you seal it in with a beauty sponge. So I use my lash pack. This is just perfect. So for the lips, I'm using my brow pencil, my Davis brow pencil, to line the lip. This brow pencil should be called like a multi-purpose product or a multi-purpose pencil, because let me just stop to say this. If you're not subscribed to my channel, guys, please click the subscribe button and be subscribed. So this is the 2 shades I'm using. I just put on the back of my palm because I don't want to go on her lip and still dip the brush into the product again. That's not hygienic, guys. So I'm just basically trying to blend. Like you can see in the video, I'm just telling her to smack, and just blend and blend and blend. Tell her to smack and hold, and you blend however works for you, guys. Telling your client to smack doesn't make you less of a professional. If it works for you, fine, tell them to smack. If it doesn't, I always tell my clients to smack. So after blending, I went into it with this glitter, This is the matte and the other one is the gloss. So I went into it with a matte glitter, like a metallic lipstick, but this is like the silver shade. Yeah, so after doing that, I went into it with my glittery glossy lip. It has like glitters in it. It's shiny, it's glossy, but then it's shiny. It has like glitters in it. I just wanted to have like that glitter on it. So as a gloss girl, we have to do more gloss. I went into the skin with more gloss from my classic lip gloss because I really want it glossy. So I think one of these days I'm going to try to achieve like a matte lipstick because I don't think for a very long time I've not done like a matte lipstick. I always find myself glossing it. So I'm going to be using this Tehila cream blush in Choi. Place on the back of my palm. Take it a little bit on her skin. Even though we're going for like a pink blush or pink, whatever, I just still want that, orange because that is closer to her skin tone and her undertone because it's kind of warm. So I just want to have that orange to just blend into the concealer, like the contour. So I'm using my TM Essential Glaze in Flushed. Yeah, Flush. The Flush has like this pink shade, pink undertone kind of in it, and I really love it. Flush is like my favorite shade. I love other shades I got. I use them a lot, but I really enjoy using Flush, guys. It just gives me what I want. I love the pink kind of, effect it leaves on the skin. So that's just it. So to like add volume to her lower lashes and make it even because when there is no volume there it just doesn't work. So to set and seal her makeup, I use my So Pro City Spray, and this is the look without accessories. And I decided to do extra. I went into it with my So Pro cosmetic highlighter in Jara, and this is like a pink shade. I was scared at first because I was like, Judith, this look is already popping, so you don't want to mess it up. But I said, okay, why not? Let me try. And guys, this is the finished look. This was when her accessories came on. Please let me know in the comment section if you're feeling this look as much as I am. If you enjoyed this video, give it a very big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're yet to subscribe. Share this video with your friends and anyone who you think might find this video helpful. Tell me in the comment section what you think about this modern sophisticated bridal look. I want to hear your opinion, guys. So bye for now.